Hi, I'm Brian Goncher with Deloitte. I'm interviewing Carl Bass, CEO of Autodesk. Carl, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tell me a little bit about your background and a little bit about how your career led to this moment in life.
That's a harder question than it should
Thank
be.
you.
I'd say the one thing is, my background is I was trained as a mathematician. I've been a builder and a maker of things, an inventor of stuff. And probably all of that made sense. The most unusual is becoming a CEO of a big public company. Right. Never in the plans. I'm kind of the accidental CEO. Right. And I just got here. After school, I started a software company. Eventually, I sold the software company to Autodesk. Mm-hmm. I left Autodesk and started another company, and then sold that company to Autodesk. And after two, I kind of gave up.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. What was the motivation when you were starting these young companies? We're going to talk to an audience of some young entrepreneurs tonight. What would you say to them about getting started, the motivation for starting your own company and trying to create something from scratch?
So, I think back then it was somewhat different. Mm-hmm. So the first company I started had a completely different motivation than, kind of what you hear around the valley. Right. Right now, everybody wants to start a company. You go in colleges and entrepreneurship programs are everywhere. Right. All we were trying to do is we were living in upstate New York in a college town, mm-hmm. and we just wanted to figure out a way to make a living without becoming a professor. Which required another 6 or 7 years to get your PhD. And so we just wanted to work with smart people and solve interesting problems and, get to hang out together.
And that was Ithaca Software?
Yeah.
What did that software company do and what were you most proud of in those early days?
Yeah, so we started this company. It was originally called Flying Moose Systems and Graphics. And we had that company for a couple of years. And mostly what we did is we commercialized the work of professors. And graduate students. So there was a lot of engineering research, and they would have industrial partners, and they would try to commercialize that. And so we would help. And we did that for a handful of years. And then after that, we decided that there was a product that was needed. And so we built a product that was in the realm of computer graphics and computer simulation. And that's the product we built.
Very advanced in those days, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, for the time, people, you'd walk into places and people would come running down the hall like, there's 3D on the computer. I mean, it would be embarrassing to look back now. Sure. And, see how primitive it was.
Right. So fast forward to today, in which Autodesk is a major player in the AutoCAD and design marketplace, yeah. And in 3D printing and manufacturing marketplace. Tell us what that's going to provide to others in the world. What's the future?
Yeah, so there's a number of things. So we're involved, in a couple industries. Mm-hmm. People who build the world around us, buildings and tunnels and roads. Mm-hmm. We're also involved in manufacturing. That's where the 3D printing mostly comes in, but someday we'll be 3D printing buildings. Mm-hmm. And, the last one that people don't know much about, but we build software for people who make games and movies. Right. So all the visual effects there. So 3D printing is this incredible, interesting kind of next step. I think it's part of a larger movement in which most of the means of production, most of the ways we fabricate things are now being controlled by microprocessors. And so 3D printing is this way that all of a sudden, without kind of the skill, you can get amazing precision in small quantities. And that's kind of different. Generally speaking, the Industrial Revolution was figuring out you could get really high quality and low cost if you made millions.
Right. Ford's dictum that you can have any color you want as long
as it's black. and now we're at the other side. You can have whatever color you want because I can make lots of 1 or 2 or 3. Right. And I think that's really where the big difference is coming from.
Wonderful. I understand that you built a GoKart. Did you do it with 3D printing, or could you do it with 3D printing, and why a GoKart? What does that mean to you?
So the GoKart meant nothing to me. It now means a lot, but it started with my son, who was about 15 at the time. Right. And one day he said, Dad, I want to build an electric go-kart. And so we started designing, building, modeling with 3D software. And so we built this electric go-kart, and it's cool, it goes kind of 60 miles an hour, and it's only a few inches off the ground. Right. And so we did that, and then after giving some people a ride, we had this interesting thing where one day we were driving it around, mm-hmm. and we were flying a drone to take pictures. you know, because it was a big area, and so we wanted aerial view of the driving. And then we said, instead of having the drone fly around, what if we took the guts of the drone and we put it in the go-kart? So now we have an autonomous go-kart. Which is really fun. So it was really, this was really, you know, and it was really my son who was responsible for it.
Well, a visionary that you are sees things ahead of people and also can translate that to people that are younger, your son and other younger people. But part of what Autodesk has done, I think, extremely well is being in the energy and the sustainability marketplace. And you've made a very big footprint there. And I think that is a very long-term view of what's happening in the world at large. How do you think you get yourself and others around you to commit to a vision and to do something differently and do something bigger than they would normally do on a daily or monthly or quarterly basis?
Yeah, you know, so we're in this interesting position. It's levered. In some ways, we don't do anything. We don't build anything ourselves, and we only build the tools, and so we enable. And so one of the big things is, as people have become more capable of modeling things and making digital replicas of the thing they're actually going to build, what we really want to do is provide insight into how the thing's going to work once you finally build it. Because if you've ever built anything, you know, and if you knew at the beginning what you'll know at the end, you would do it differently.
Indeed.
Yeah. So the idea, so in the sustainability, what we found out is one of the reasons why people were building less energy efficient buildings and cars, choosing the wrong materials, not thinking about the lifetime cost, is they didn't have the information.
Right.
And so we realized if we gave people the tools and we gave them feedback as they designed, they could build intuition over time, you know, without having to build a whole building to find out that it's hot or it's cold or requires too much energy. You can build digital versions and get huge amounts of feedback as you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I'm very proud of what you'll be able to create here, and hopefully in your talk tonight, you can talk to a little bit of our audience of young entrepreneurs and inspire them the way you've inspired your son and others around you. So thank you for spending some time with us, and congratulations.
Great. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Great. Thanks.